You're listening to Ranger Dave.
This show is a celebration of sound bursting free from the rules of convention and mediocrity. From a mighty mountain somewhere on the west coast of North America, and broadcasting out to the world from within his humble lair, the Toke Command Module, our fearless hero delivers a musical brew sizzled up from his brain pan, as would a giant human jukebox. Ranger Dave strives to fill the world with healing vibes through selected tunology. everybody. I'm hoping you're having a good week. Well, it hasn't been that great of a week for me. That doesn't stop me from doing my radio show tonight. And I thought to myself, you know what? I want to reach out to my dad. I know he's up there. He's listening. And so I'm going to play some music that my dad loved. And I'm going to play some music that I love. And hopefully I'm going to play a whole bunch of music that you love. But you're not going to hear a lot from me because I'm a little bit tired, a little bit worn down. And I'm going to just lay it out there, man. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. We're going to start it out with Johnny Cash. And Johnny was my dad's favorite guy. And when we'd be up at the cottage, we'd all be forced to listen to Johnny Cash. But you know, the water's rising for all of us right now. I can't tell you how high it's going to get. It's going to be higher than this, so that's for sure. Anyway, let's get on with the show, shall we? I'm just glad to be here with you. Yes, you in particular.
How high is the water, Mama? 2 feet high and rising. How high is the water, Papa? She said it's 2 feet high and rising. Well, we can make it to the road in a homemade boat, 'cause that's the only thing we got left that'll float. It's already over all the wheat and oats, 2 feet high and rising. How high is the water, Mama? 3 feet high and rising. How high is the water, Papa? She said it's 3 feet high and rising. Well, the hives are gone, I lost my bees. Chickens are sleeping in the willow trees. Cows in water up past her knees, 3 feet high and rising. How high is the water, Mama? 4 feet high and rising. How high is the water, Papa? She said it's 4 feet high and rising. Hey, come look through the window pane. The bus is coming, gonna take us to the train. Looks like we'll be blessed with a little more rain. 4 feet high and rising. How high is the water, Mama? 5 feet high and rising. How high is the water, Papa? She said it's 5 feet high and rising. Well, the rails are washed out north of town. We gotta head for higher ground. We can't come back till the water goes down. 5 feet high and rising. Well, it's 5 feet high and rising.
I think there are people who try to affect a thinking where they know more than some other son of a bitch and try to put a false impression on what human nature is. Christ's sakes, we have proven that we go back to hope at the first opportunity. Just throw out a little fish and bam, they're out there ready to grab it. So we are optimistic. We have to be optimistic. Christ, what else would there be in life if you lose optimism? There isn't a hell of a lot that we can do to change human behavior. We keep making laws to try and change human behavior. We can't do it. You're being conned into Keynesianism and socialism now. But it isn't going to stop the selfishness of human behavior. It isn't going to stop the greed. If you take $20 and give $1 to every son of a bitch in a room, and come back a year later, one of the bastards will have most of the money. I mean, it's just human nature, and you're not gonna whip it with a lot of laws.
1, 2, 3, 4. Can I get a big wahoo?
Give me a horse, great big horse, and give me a buckaroo, and let me wahoo, wahoo, wahoo. Yeah, give me a ranch, a big pair of pants, and give me a Stetson too, and let me wahoo, wahoo, wahoo.
Give me those wide open spaces.
Well, I'm just like a prairie flower, growing wilder every hour. Give me a moon, a prairie moon, give me a gal that's true. Let me wahoo, wahoo, wahoo.
Well, now what did Cleopatra say to Antony when they met? She hollered,
Wahoo, wahoo, wahoo.
and what did Roman Romeo yell to Miss Juliet?
Stella, wahoo, wahoo, wahoo.
Well, it started way back in Eden. Miss Eve was the cause, it's no fib. She wahooed at him for a rib. What did Pocahontas yell the minute she saw John Smith?
Wahoo, wahoo, wahoo.
Go wahoo now. Show the rodeo. I like old Connie Smith too. I like you. Yeah, when them guys green cacti are staying around 6'2", they generally wobble and rumble. Hey, I wanna be a cowboy too, so I can ride the whole day through. Well, give me the length, the size, the string, and give me Roberta too, and let me wahoo, 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 wahoo over there too, Slim. That's all right. I'll eat your heart out, Paul. Slap it, Slim.
Open your mouth about 2 feet wide and take a deep breath or two, and then you
Wahoo, wahoo, wahoo.
yeah, you wiggle your toes and grit your teeth like Dangerous Dan McGrew, and then you
Wahoo, wahoo, wahoo.
Be careful not to sing soprano.
Yeah, another good hidey ho. You know that don't go up in Idaho. Well, buck your belt and fix your hat and spit her out.
Wahoo, wahoo, wahoo.
Lonely but free I'll be found. tumbling tumbleweed. Cares of the past are behind, nowhere to go but I'll find just where the trail will wind, drifting along with the tumbling tumbleweed. I know when night has gone that a new world is born at dawn. I'll keep rolling along. Deep in my heart is a song. Here on the range I belong, drifting along with a tumbling tumbleweed. I know when night is gone that a new world is born at dawn. I'll keep rolling along. Deep in my heart is a song. Here on the range I belong, drifting along with the tumbling tumbleweed.
All I'm trying to say to you is this: according to Darwin's theory of evolution, somewhere along the line, way back, you've got an ancestor that swung from the trees by his tail.
I'd just like to see you look my grandma hog hiking in the eye one time and say that to her, especially if she had the skillet in her hand.
Wildcat Kelly, looking mighty pale, was standing by the sheriff's side. And when that sheriff said, "I'm sending you to jail," Wildcat raised his head and cried, "Oh, give me land, lots of land under starry skies above. Don't fence me in, let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in, let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please, don't fence me in, just turn me loose. Let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western skies. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences and gaze at the moon until I lose my senses. I can't look at hobbles and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. Give me land, lots of land, under starry skies. Don't fence me in, let me ride through the wide country that I love. Don't fence me in, let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please, don't fence me in, just turn me loose. Let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western skies. skies. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences and gaze at the moon until I lose my senses. I can't look at hobbles and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in.
I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a feller in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his can.
I've never seen a sight that didn't look better looking back. I was born under a wandering star. Mud can make you prisoner and the plains can bake you dry. Snow can burn your eyes, but only people make you cry. Home is made for coming from, for dreams of going to, which with any luck will never come true. I was born under a wandering star. I was born under a wandering star. Do I know where hell is? Hell is in hello. Heaven is goodbye, forever it's time for me to go. I was born under a wandering star, a wandering star.
Mud can make you prisoner and the plains can make you dry. Snow can burn your eyes, but only people make you cry. Home is made for coming from, for dreams of going to, which with any luck will never come true. I was born under a wandering star. I was born under a wandering star.
When I get to heaven, tie me to a tree, or I'll begin to roam, and soon you know where I will be. I was born under a wandering star, a wandering star.
An old cowpoke went riding out one dark and windy day. Upon a ridge he rested as he went along his way, when all at once a mighty herd of red-eyed cows he saw a-plowing through the ragged skies and up a cloudy draw. A ghost herd in the sky. Their brands were still on fire and their hoofs were made of steel. Their horns were black and shiny and their hot breath he could feel. A bolt of fear went through him as they thundered through the sky, for he saw the riders coming hard and heard their mournful cry. Ghost riders in the sky. Their faces gaunt, their eyes were blurred, the shirts all soaked with sweat. They're riding hard to catch that herd, but they caught him yet. 'Cause they've got to ride forever on that range up in the sky, on horses snorting fire as they ride on, hear their cry. Ghost riders in the sky. As the riders loped on by him, he heard one call his name. If you want to save your soul from hell, a-riding on our range, then cowboy, change your ways today, or with us you will ride, a-trying to catch that devil's herd across these endless skies. Yippee-yi-yi, yippee-yi-yi, a ghost herd in the sky. Ghost riders in the sky.
Name in cereals presents Wild Bill Hickok! Starring Guy Madison as Wild Bill Hickok. Hey! Wild Bill, wait for me! And Andy Devine as his pal Jingle.
And get your hat, leave your worry on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear a pitter-pat? And that happy tune is your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade, but I'm not afraid. This rover crossed over. If I never have a cent, I'll be rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street. I I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade. I'm not afraid. This rover crossed over. If I never have a cent, I'll be rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street.
You know, sometimes when bad things happen, good things happen at the same time. You got to be able to see it, though. Today, well, I found out that I have a lot of people that care about me and a lot of people that are there helping me. Not going to mention them all. You kind of know who you are right now. Probably do that at another time. But I just wanted to say first that, you know, when things happen, look at the big picture. What did you learn? Well, that's what I learned today. And you being out there and listening to this show and listening to the music with me makes me feel good. And that's all I've got to say about that for right now. We just heard a bunch of stuff that I know my dad loved every bit of it. Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, Burl Ives, the cornball stuff, you know, the great westerns from the 50s. And, of course, a guy that... My dad, for some reason, even from a very young age, he reminded me a little bit of Raymond Burr. It might have been that prosecutorial attitude that he sometimes had. But he reminded me more of John Wayne because of his commanding style, you might call it. I don't think much of that rubbed off on me, but I did find out today that I got friends. Thanks, folks. And I think now... perhaps we should take a different tack, a change of pace, you might call it, and change the groove. You're listening to the Ranger Dave Show on Radio Gordo, RadioGordo.net, as a matter of fact. And I think we should just get on and play some tunes and enjoy some time together on a Saturday night, like we've always done, together. Here we go.
Are we going to get the ball rolling?
Yeah, we're going to get the ball rolling. What do you think I'm doing? I'm working on it, right? What does it look like? You think it's easy? You know, I got to keep them cooled out. I got to keep all you people happy. I got to have all the ideas, and I got to do it all alone. I'm working on it. You want to try it?
I declare bankruptcy!
Muscle and blood, you were traveling through outer space. I mean, like you're going real fast, like the speed of light, you know? And all of a sudden you start screaming, ah! Ah! You think that your brain would blow up?
Mr. Dillon, can I just sort of follow?
See you later.
Thunderstruck! Thunderstruck! Yeah, 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 thunderstruck! Thunderstruck! Yeah, 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 thunderstruck! Thunderstruck! Yeah, 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 thunderstruck! Thunderstruck!
Total providence. I am walking home. I find myself on the street. I'm rarely on and look what I obtained for a mere $50. We are all way too close to this. There's only one thing we can do to thwart the plot of these albino shape-shifting lizard bitches. We are going to take this fight outside, ask the first person we see. We're going to introduce a novelty. That way we get an objective viewpoint. Ein, zwei, drei, Hegel! By the way, I might take you up on that $60 offer.
No, that was for an 18 speed. Now for this, 18 minus 10, I'll give you 23.75.
Are you certain that's the right math on that?
If you could see from inside a dead person, you could still see. But you couldn't operate the eye muscles, so you couldn't focus. You couldn't turn your head or your eyeballs. All you could do was wait until some object passed by. You'd be frozen, just waiting.
The riddle-like quality of a Dick novel is, I think, very attractive. For one thing, he can. It's so difficult to describe a Dick novel. They are actually beyond description. You don't quite know where you are, and at any moment, strange, malevolent creatures will appear who may be actual or may be part of an alternative world to which the other characters do not know they have access.
As he glided by the small, out-of-the-way cemetery in his airborne prowl car, Officer Tinbane heard unfortunate and familiar sounds. A voice. The voice said, muffled and faint, I want to get out. Can anybody hear me? The voice came from beneath the grass.
His baby sister, literally baby sister, Jane, died at the age of 6 weeks. It's rife in his books. It's always there in the stronger novels, this sense of loss of his other half. And it's a very powerful theme. He longed for Jane throughout his entire life. It wasn't unique to Philip K. Dick, but it is perhaps unique in literature that theme was explored so deeply and darkly and with such passion and sense of loss.
Someday the girl would die, and they would open up her body, perform an autopsy, and find a little wrinkled male figure. Her brother, still no larger than a baby rabbit.
His mother, not only by temperament, but by the child-raising manuals of the time, had imbibed the doctrine that it was bad to hold or cuddle your child too often. He hated his mother for what he felt as the poor treatment she had given his big sister and felt that she was responsible for her death. He was left with the sense of who was this sister, and I want her back.
Man, sorry. What knight lives in that castle over there? I'm 37. What? I'm 37, I'm not old. But I can't just call you man. You could say Dennis. I didn't know you were called Dennis. Well, you didn't bother to find out, did you? I did say sorry about the old woman, but from behind you looked What I object to is you automatically treat me like an inferior. Well, I am king. Oh, king, eh? Very nice. And how do you get that, eh? By exploiting the workers. By hanging on to outdated imperialist dogma which perpetuates the economic and social differences in our society. If there's ever going to be any progress...
Dennis, there's some lovely filth down here. Oh, how do you do?
How do you do, good lady? I am Arthur, King of the Britons. Whose castle is that?
King of the who?
The Britons.
Who are the Britons?
Well, we all are. We are all Britons. And I am your king.
I didn't know we had a king. I thought we were an autonomous collective.
You're fooling yourself. We're living in a dictatorship. A self-perpetuating autocracy in which the working classes...
Oh, there you go, bringing class into it again.
Well, that's what it's all about. If only people would...
Please, good people, I am in haste. Who lives in that castle?
No one lives there.
Then who is your lord?
We don't have a lord.
What? I told you. We're an anarcho-syndicalist commune. We take it in turns to act as a sort of executive officer for the week.
Yes.
But all the decisions of that officer have to be ratified at a special bi-weekly meeting.
Yes, I see.
By a simple majority in the case of purely internal affairs.
Be quiet.
But by a two-thirds majority in the case of more...
Be quiet. I order you to be quiet.
Order, who does he think he is?
I'm your king.
Well, I didn't vote for you.
You don't vote for kings.
Well, how'd you become king, then?
The Lady of the Lake, her arm clad in the purest shimmering samite, held aloft Excalibur from the bosom of the water, signifying by divine providence that I, Arthur, was to carry Excalibur. That is why I'm your king.
Listen, strange women lying in ponds distributing swords is no basis for a system of government. Supreme executive power derives from a mandate from the masses, not from some farcical aquatic ceremony.
Be quiet.
But you can't expect to wield supreme executive power just because some watery tart threw a sword at you. Shut up! I mean, if I went round saying I was an emperor just because some moistened bint had lobbed a scimitar at me, they'd put me away.
Shut up! Will you shut up?
Ah, now we see the violence inherent in the system. Shut up! Oh, come and see the violence inherent in the system. Help, help, I'm being repressed, bloody peasant! Oh, what a giveaway. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, eh? That's what I'm on about. Do you see him repressing me? You saw it, didn't you?
Hey kids, where do you want to go? That's right, to Uncle Nutsy's clubhouse. And boy oh boy, are we gonna have big fun today. We're gonna have so much fun. We'll forget about how miserable we are and how much life sucks. And how we're all gonna grow old and die someday. Shut up, you little weasel! Okay. Right now I'd like to show you one of my favorite cartoons. It's a sad, depressing story about a pathetic coyote who spends every waking moment of his life in the futile pursuit of a sadistic roadrunner who mocks him and laughs at him as he's repeatedly crushed and maimed! Hope you enjoy it! Don't drink. Yeah, but I've been meaning to start. Wait a minute.
You see there's an escalation of monitoring, and you read the papers and stuff. But again, you know, paranoia is no fun, and you know I love those statements that say sometimes there really are people in the closet. But you know, if they are, then they're on your property and they shouldn't be there. So you should do something about it. There's plenty of real things to concern yourself with without being paranoid. You know, paranoid by nature of what it says means you're afraid of something that you really probably don't need to be all that afraid of.
he is.
I'm not. He isn't?
Well, he will be soon. He's very ill.
I'm getting better. No, you're not. You'll be stone dead in a moment. Oh, I can't take it like that. It's against regulation. I don't want to go on the car.
Oh, that was just baby.
I can't take him.
I feel fine. Well, do us a favour.
I can't.
Well, can you hang around a couple of minutes? He won't be long.
Oh, I've got to go to Robinson's. They've lost 9 today.
Well, when's your next run?
Thursday.
You think I'll go for a walk?
You're not fooling anyone, you know. Look,
is there something you can do?
I feel happy. I feel happy.
Oh, thanks very much.
Oh, George. See you on Thursday.
Right.
Who's that then? I don't know. Must be a king. Why? He hasn't got shit all over him.
Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Robin Hood, with his band of men. Feared by the bad, loved by the good. Robin Hood. He called the greatest archers to a tavern on the green. They vowed to help the people of the king. They handled all the trouble on the English country scene and still found plenty of time to sing. Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Robin Hood, with his band of men. Feared by the bad, loved by the good. Robin Hood.
Today, one of these lucky contestants will win his or her weight in fish right here on Wheel of Okay, let's play the game. We start with yesterday's winner, Miss Phyllis Weaver. Are you ready, Weaver?
I sure am, Goonie.
Okay, you'll get over there and spin the wheel of fish. Boys, give it a big spin. Red snapper. It's very tasty. Okay, Weaver. Listen carefully. You can hold on to your red snapper, or you can go for what's in the box that Hiro-san is bringing down the aisle right now. What's it gonna be?
I'll take the box. The box.
Let's see what's in the box. Nothing! Absolutely nothing! Stupid! You're so stupid!
You are a selfish, thoughtless, insensitive creep. And from now on, you can forget all my birthdays because we're through.
You're a bad man. You're a very bad man.
I didn't want to do business with Mr. Gordon or his gang of hoodlums, but they threatened me. And my wife. It was a nightmare. 5 years of terror.
I part in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberries.
Is there someone else up there we can talk to?
No, now go away or I shall taunt you a second time.
Open the door!
Day 3, Las Vegas, 12 o'clock noon. We should have left for Hollywood at 9, but Thompson has locked himself in his hotel room. When he finally lets us in, his face is covered in white makeup.
His
sure you're gonna be okay?
I don't know.
Hey, you look terrible. Hey, sit down, something, and anything. Just
I'm on the phone.
Really? Oh. You might. Oh, you're actually well enough to do that. Well, that's good. Can you
Been holding blood. What? Oh. Oh yeah. Yeah. You can speak to Ralph for a second here. Yeah. Tell Cindy just exactly what's been happening.
Just well, playing around, but it's obviously not. He's just.
I don't recognize anyone anymore.
Yeah.
But I was in no mood or condition to spend another week in Las Vegas. Not now. I had pushed my luck about as far as it was going to carry me in this town. All the way out to the edge. And now the weasels were closing in. I could smell the ugly brutes. Yes, it was definitely time to leave. My margin had shrunk to nothing.
Hey, I'm Ranger Dave, and you're listening to the Ranger Dave Show here on a Saturday night here on RadioGordo.net. And I thought I would chime back in here and just say a couple of things about this Radio Gordo fever dream that I put together for you tonight. And we're going to just keep carrying along. I think you probably noticed in there we had a little bit of Al Yankovic's movie, UHF. We had a little bit of Through a Scanner Darkly, and we heard some themes, Robin Hood and a few other things. I'm just wondering what underlying theme you got there, with Monty Python talking about who runs our society. It hasn't really changed from back in those times, in those Arthurian times, has it? In some ways. So let's get back to the show. I just want to repeat that I'm so glad you're there, keeping me company. And we'll come back and talk about things a little bit later on. I'm Ranger Dave.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Maybe I need me someone who isn't undone. Maybe
nicotine. Indica don't drink alcohol. Indica use no drug at all. Indica don't eat any sweet. Indica don't eat piggy feet. Indica frame is mighty strong. Indica making up hard and long.
Why can't you be like Indica?
Indica love Tribina soul. Indica walks her to the stove. Indica likes to hold her hand. Indica's proud to be her man. Indica stands for decency. Indica means formality. Indica's the epitome. Indica stands for quality. Indica. 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 I'll never be like Indica. Cinema. I'll never be like Indica. No Indica in me. Ease up, ease up, ease up, ease up, ease up. Pass on it, baby. Don't mean maybe. Ease up, ease up, ease up, ease up, ease up. Pass on it, baby. Don't mean maybe. I'll never be like Indica. No Indica in me.
Chatting up and always get rebuffed. Enough to drive a man to drink. I don't do no washing up. I always leave the stuff piled up in the sink.
But you will always find him in the kitchen at parties.
Me and my girlfriend, we argued and she ran away from home. She must have found somebody new and now I'm all alone, living on my own. What am I supposed to do?
That's why you'll always find him in the kitchen at parties. You will always find him in the kitchen at parties. You will always find him in the kitchen at parties.
Then I met this debutante, I said I like you, a broad. She was into French cuisine, but I ain't no cordon bleu. This was at some do in Palmer's Green. I had no luck with her.
You will still find him in the kitchen at parties. You will still find him in the kitchen at parties.
At last I met a pretty girl. She laughed and talked with me. We both walked out of the kitchen and danced in a new way. And now I've done my time in the kitchen at parties. I've done my time in the kitchen at parties.
He's done his time in the kitchen at parties. He's done his time in the kitchen at parties. He's done his time in the kitchen at parties. He's done his time in the kitchen.
You're not knowing your fluids. This is battery fluid. He is bleeding to death.
street, kicking cans, looking at the billboard, the also rans, summing up the people, checking out the race, doing what I'm doing, feeling out of place, walking in the rain. Feeling like a woman, looking like a man, sounding like a no-no, mating when I can, whistling in the darkness, shining in the night, coming to the conclusion, night is right, is tight, walking in the rain. Come in all you jesters, enter all you fools. Sit down, no, oh, gagoos. Trip the light, fantastic. Dance the swivel hips. Coming the conclusion, button up your lips. Walking in the rain. Walking in the rain.
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Deserts of Sudan and the gardens of Japan, from Milan to Yucatan, every woman's, every man. Hit me with your rhythm stick, hit me, je t'adore, ich liebe dich. Hit me, hit me, hit me, hit me with your rhythm stick. Hit me slowly, hit me quick, hit me, hit me, hit me. In the wilds of Borneo and the vineyards of Bordeaux, Eskimo, Arapaho move their body to and fro. Hit me your rhythm stick. Hit me, das ist gut, say, fantastic. Hit me, hit me, hit me, hit me with your rhythm stick. It's nice to be a lunatic. Hit me, hit me, hit me. Hit me!
this cat starts banging, man, what a swine. So I called reception, but to no avail. That's why I'm telling you this sorry tale. It went bang, I said shut up. It went bang, I said wrap up. Well, I'm aware that the guy must do his work, but the poor driver man drove me berserk. He said, Captain, I said what? He said, Captain, I said what? Once a lifetime, twice a day. If you don't work, you get no pay. I've been to the east, I've been to the west, but the girls I like most are the ones undressed. Well, hello, Adam, where you been? I said, stand aside, cause I'm a feeling mean. I had a gut full of you and I'm a feeling bad, but you're an ugly old pirate and ain't I glad? He said, Captain, I said, what? He said, Captain, I said, what? He said, Captain, I said, what? He said, Captain, I said, what you want? I said what? He said Captain, I said what? He said Captain, I said what? He said Captain, I said what you want?
What did you go tearing up my radio for?
you plan. Hey, your way, nothing ever goes the way you plan. Hey, your way, nothing ever goes the way that you plan. Now move along, boys, out the way and let this lady have a say to strike a blow for women's rights with a line in chat that's out of sight.
Well, I've never been the type to stay at home. I'm a mistress of the microphone. I drink champagne, eat caviar. You see, boys, I'm a superstar. I'm the queen, I'm the queen, I'm the queen of the rapping scene. I'm the queen, I'm the queen, I'm the queen of the rapping scene. Check this, gotta move to the left, move to the right, but you gotta keep dancing through the night. My hair is blonde, but I sure ain't dumb. I've got one nation under my thumb. Now these toy boys ain't no big noise. They think they're really smart, but what they lack is the needed tact of a girl that'll break your heart. I'm a sweet soul sister, and there ain't no mister that'll ever get the better of me. So treat your feet to the beat that's neat with your favorite girl MC. I'm the queen, I'm the queen, I'm the queen of the rapping scene. I'm the queen, I'm the queen, I'm the queen of the rapping scene.
Now pardon me, your majesty, but you're talking to the best. And if you wanna rap with this handsome chap, then first you gotta pass my test. Come fly with me in my 2CV, we're gonna get ourselves a bottle of wine, and then head on back to my penthouse flat, and I'll show you a real good time.
Don't kid yourself, you waste of space. You're super slob with an ugly face. Next time you try to make a pass, just stick to women in your path. I'm the queen, I'm the queen, I'm the queen of the rapping scene. I'm the queen, I'm the queen, I'm the queen of the rapping scene.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Everybody come along with me to the island across the sea. Well, let's go to Hawaii. Let's go to Hawaii. We're having fun, playing under the sun in Hawaii. Lots of pretty girls everywhere. Grass skirts and long black hair. Well, let's go to Hawaii. Let's go to Hawaii. Put on the Navy shoes. Going through like booze in Hawaii. Honolulu, there's some crazy sights. Wild pies going every night. I'm not invited to some people say, but I don't care, I'm going anyway. Well, I'm sitting down in Waikiki. I do the virgins on a coconut tree. Well, let's go to Hawaii. Let's go to Hawaii. They got the prettiest waves and the longest days in Hawaii. People travels on a snow and ice, and flying up through the city's paradise. I'm falling into the hula dance, and everybody's making big romance. Like eating girls run along the beach, but then I used to stay within your reach. Well, let's go to Hawaii. Let's go to Hawaii. Better not be late, we gotta motivate to Hawaii. Let's go to Hawaii. Let's go to Hawaii. I'm gonna fly to Hawaii. I'm gonna swim to Hawaii. It's a place to be. That's across the sea. That's in Hawaii.
Look, then run for your life. Incredible is the word for the world's first monster musical.
High society blue bloods are dancing in New York's most fashionable hotel.
See in magnificent Eastman color the daring, dancing, enticing, and horrifying. The incredibly strange creatures who stopped living and became mixed-up zombies. From the innocence of music and laughter comes the twilight of terror. Along the midway, scantily clad dancers luring the young lovers into the sideshows.
Yes. The camera. We've asked you that before. Do you think, Mr. Wells, that you might have taken unfair advantage of the public in using a method as a conveyance for authentic news?
I don't believe that I have, since it is not a method original with me. It is used by many radio programs. I am terribly shocked by the effect it's had. I do not believe that the method is original with me or peculiar to the Mercury Theater's presentation.
Do you think there ought to be a law against such enactments as we had last night, or as a result of that?
I don't know what the legislation would be. I know that almost everybody in radio would do almost anything to avert the kind of thing that has happened, myself included, but I don't know what the legislation would be. Radio is new and we are learning about the effect it has on people. Learned a terrible lesson.
Do you think that this will cause the curbing of radio bulletins on the air today?
I simply can't imagine. It seems to me that the effects of this may cause much legislation. I simply don't know. It's the wisdom of radio executives and of an organized public will decide these things for us. It's not up to me to speak. I'm the accused.
I was in Europe at the time that Schuschnigg was murdered, and I remember very vividly the way that came through the air. I should say that your presentation last night was even more dramatic and more realistic than the way the Vienna radio station did theirs.
Yes, the intention
of that. In view of that, don't you think that somebody here would have been able to gauge the reaction, which in fact has occurred throughout the United States?
Well, every radio program tries to be more dramatic than life, as every play tries to be more dramatic than life, and every movie, not less so. I would have been surprised if hurt, as anybody would, if they'd been told that a presentation was less effective than life.
We know a remote farm in Lincolnshire where Mrs. Buckley lives. Every July, peas grow there. You really mean that?
Yeah, so in other words, I'd start half a second late.
Don't you think you really want to say July over the snow? Isn't that the fun of it?
If you can make it almost when that shot disappears, it'll make my...
I think it's so nice that you see a snow-covered field and say every July peas grow there. We know a remote farm in Lincolnshire where Mrs. Buckley lives. Every July, peas grow there. We aren't even in the fields, you see. We're talking about them growing, and she's picked them. What?
In July.
I don't understand you, then. What must be over for July?
When we get out of that snowy field.
When I was out, we were onto a can of peas, a big dish of peas when I said in July.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, always. I'm always past that.
You are?
Yes. Well, that's about where I say in July.
You emphasize a bit in July.
Why? That doesn't make any sense. Sorry. There's no known way of saying an English sentence in which you begin a sentence with in and emphasize it. Get me a jury and show me how you can say in July, and I'll go down on you. That's just idiotic, if you'll forgive me by saying so. That's just stupid. In July. I'd love to know how you emphasize in July. Impossible. Meaningless.
I think all they were thinking about was that they didn't want to...
He isn't thinking.
Well, so can we just do one last...
Yeah?
And it was my fault. I said in July. If you can leave every July...
You didn't say it. He said it. Your friend. Every July? No, you don't really mean every July. But that's bad copy. It's in July. Of course it's every July. Too much directing around here. Norway. Fish fingers, no. Findus, Norway. We know a certain fjord in Norway, near where the cod gather in great shoals. There, Stangelands.
Fraction more on that shows thing, because you rolled it around very nicely.
Yeah, roll it around and I have no more time. You don't know what I'm up against. Because it's full of things that are only correct because they're grammatical, but they're tough on the ear. You see, this is a very wearying one. It's unpleasant to read. Unrewarding. Because spinners freeze the cod at sea and then add a crumb crisp coating. That's tough, crumb crisp coating. I think, no, because of the way it's written, you need to break it up, because it's not as conversationally written. What?
Take crumb out.
Take crumb out. Good. Here under protest is beef burgers. We know a little place in the American far west where Charlie Briggs chops up the finest prairie-fed beef and tastes. This is a lot of shit, you know that. You want one more?
Yes.
More on what, beef?
You missed the first beef, actually, completely.
What do you mean missed it?
You're emphasizing prairie-fed.
But you can't emphasize beef. That's like he's wanting me to emphasize hen before July. Come on, fellas, you're losing your heads. I wouldn't direct any living actor like this in Shakespeare. Will you do this? It's impossible.
Orson, you did 6 last year, and by far and away the best, and I know the reason.
The right reading for this is the one I'm giving.
At the moment.
I spent...
Creative geniuses are annoying, aren't they? That was Orson Welles justifying the great mind control experiment that he put together with the work of another man named Wells. and talking to the American media and obviously outsmarting them all. There's nobody around quite like Orson Welles. But on the other hand, that last part there where he's doing a commercial, well, that shows you how annoying he could be. Or giving advice to Ed Wood. You know, don't listen to your backers, follow your dreams. And I think that's the best piece of advice that comes out of that stuff. So anyway, like I said, you're not going to hear any more of me tonight. I'm just going to play us out with some other ideas. You can think about the underpinning, overarching themes at work and how they intertwine and so on. So, you know, after cruising the radio bardos for a couple of hours with you tonight, let's just say I've really enjoyed it. And tune in again next week. It'll be something completely different. Maybe a little bit more full-bodied, you might say. But we'll see. And in the meantime, cut each other the slack that you seek. I certainly got a lot this week. Good night, everyone.
Depths of your ignorance. What is it you want? Whatever it is you want, I can't deliver because I just don't see it. That's what it is. You can live with it. No money is worth it.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
Well, I'm a young filmmaker and a real big fan. I just wanted to meet you.
My pleasure. I'm Orson Welles.
I'm Edward D. Wood, Jr. What you working on?
Well, the financing just fell through for the 3rd time on Don Quixote.
Do you know, I can't believe it. That sounds just exactly like my problems.
It's the damn money men. You never know who's a windbag and who's got the goods. And then they all think they're directors.
Ain't that the truth? Do you know that I've even had producers recut my movies?
I hate when that happens.
And they're always trying to cast their buddies. It doesn't even matter if they're right for the part.
Tell me about it. I'm supposed to do a thriller at Universal. But they want Charlton Heston to play a Mexican.
Mr. Wells, is it all worth it?
It is when it works. You know, the one film of mine where I had total control, Kane, the studio hated it, but they didn't get to touch a frame. Ed.
Yes?
Visions are worth fighting for. Why spend your life making someone else's dreams?
Mr. Reynolds? Yes. We are going to finish this picture just the way I want it, because you cannot compromise an artist's vision.
But it's our money.
And you're going to make a bundle, but only if you shut up and let me do things like
forever young. I know your heart by a sacred art and your spirit's torn. I'm standing here, never shed a tear as you're walking on the bridge above the river of your dreams. The bridge is starting to sway. I have the power of life and death and the strength of love. I know how you feel, your looks reveal what you're thinking of. I'm standing here, never shed a tear as you're walking on the bridge above the river of your dreams. The bridge is starting to sway. Everyone who was born is gonna die someday. So you'd better find out what you're all about before you come back again. I'm standing here, never shed a tear as you're walking on the bridge above the river of your dreams. The bridge is starting to sway.
The date of the broadcast was clearly stated as being 1939. It came, of course, as a great shock to us that the old H.G. Wells fantasy, the classic original for so many adventure stories, romances, and even comic strips, should have so profound an effect upon radio listeners. The invasion by mythical monsters from the planet Mars seemed to us to be clearly in the realm of the fairy tale. Deeply regretful that this is not so.
I once, you know, I'm a magician, and I got interested in mind reading and fortune telling, fake fortune telling, you know. And I got to know a lot of old fakes who had retired as millionaires, you know. And they told me their secrets, how you do it. They have things that are called cold readings. A cold reading is you warm up the sucker by telling him things that he says, how could he ever know that, you see? You say, you know, between the ages of 13 and 15, you had a great change came in your life. And that happens in everybody's life. But he says, he came in and told me things I already see. You've got a scar on your knee. Everybody fell down and has a scar on their knee. Those are cold readings, you see?
I have a scar on my knee.
Sure
How
you
did
do.
you know that?
Yeah, you see? Just something bigger than myself. Well, now, the point about this is that after they're warmed up, they're amazed by this knee bit and the rest of it. They start telling you. Because you just say, is it sitting? You see from their face it is or it isn't. And then you tell it back and they say, how did he do it? You see? So I was bored. I was playing in Kansas City with Catherine Cornell one time. And we didn't have any matinee on Wednesday. So I hired a room and put Dr. Swami fortune telling, you know? $2 readings. And for the whole day they came in and each one, because I felt guilty about it at the end, I said, I'm not going to take your money. You know, because I couldn't have really taken it. For a whole day, I was a fortune teller, faking. But then there began to happen to me the thing that does happen to fortune tellers, and which is the occupational disease of fraudulence, fortune tellers. And they have a name for it. It's called becoming a shut-eye. And a shut-eye in the argot of these crooks is the fellow who begins to believe himself. You see, and you make these wild guesses. One of them explained to me, he says, supposing you're a night clerk in a hotel, and when you get the job, first of all, a fellow comes in, wants a single room, you look at how good his luggage is, how good are his shoes, and you tell him there's a room in the court, there's no room, or yes, sir, depending on various pieces of evidence. He says, you've been a night clerk long enough, you glance, and you tell him. You've been a night clerk a little longer, and you don't have to look. You've seen it, but the computer in here has made all of those deductions without your being conscious of it. So the mind reader gets so that he, without thinking, does that, and then they say it's true. And a woman came in to me at the end of my career as a fraudulent fortune teller in a bright print dress, sat down, looking perfectly all right, and I said, you've lost your husband last week. And she burst into tears. She had. And then I quit.
That was terrible.
Yes, it's one of those things. Undoubtedly, it's not psychic. Undoubtedly, there was evidence of a tragedy. There was all kinds of things that went into the computer and got processed without me crookedly thinking what I'm going to say to her. And that's how it works, I think.
It's fascinating. And you get sort of 5 spooky premonitions a year.
Like that, and then, you know, yes, I do. And I'm sure they're all spooky like that in some kind of funny way. I suppose I looked at Una and said, you know, she's just, Una is exactly the girl that would be happy with Charlie, I suppose. And instead of thinking, maybe you'll meet him, what did I lose? I said, you're going to marry him. And she did.
see my shoes?
Yeah, but we lose your head.
Joe! Do me a favor and stand in here, will you?
Look, Greg, it has to be lower. This is the scene. We have to look up at these two men as pillars soaring to the sky, towering virtues in combat.
Orson! We've been through this. We can't get the camera any lower, so find another goddamn shot. Orson, what the fuck are you doing?
It's like he's tearing out the floor.
Goddamn morning.
My favorite time of day, Greg. I've set back the sacred cause of reform. Ready? All right. That's the way they want it.
Ready to go, Brain?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to run the picture and you read the copy. Animaniacs 406-859, take one.
We know a remote farm in Lincolnshire where Mrs. Buckley lives. Every July, peas grow there. Do you really mean that?
Yeah, but if you could start a half second later.
Don't you think you really want to say July over the snow? Isn't that the fun of it? I think it's so nice that you see a snow-covered field and say every July peas grow there. We're talking about them growing and she's picked them.
Well, we want to be out of that snowy field.
But I was out. We were on to a can of peas, a big dish of peas when I said in July.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, always. I'm always past that.
You are?
Yes.
Can you emphasize a bit in July?
Why? That doesn't make any sense. Sorry. There's no known way of saying an English sentence in which you begin a sentence with in and emphasize it. Get me a jury and show me how you can say in July and I'll make cheese for you. That's just idiotic, if you'll forgive my saying so. That's just stupid. In July. Impossible. Meaningless. If you want this done, you'll just have to find some actor who does impressions. Good luck and good day.
All right, are you all here to audition for the part of the Brain?
Yes, always. On second thought, fellas, let's try it again, shall we?
Righto, Brain.
But Pinky, remember, we must be finished by 6.
What, Brain? What are we going to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
They're Pinky and the Brain, 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 Brain.